You've discovered something? I knew it! I am absolved! And yet, I cannot possibly imagine what would have possessed him to deliberately endanger the Sovereign's life. It's unconscionable. I would characterize Valancourt as many vile and unmentionable things, but a traitor? No. A man cannot defecate without humming a protectorate anthem. For all the time I've spent trying to unsnarl Valancourt's mercurial behavior, it seems there was yet more I did not know about him. Did you uncover anything else? How did this go unnoticed during final checks? This is surely why the rift destabilized on us. I think I'm beginning to understand exactly what happened here. But if you have any additional points of data, please share them. You've discovered something? You've discovered something? I think I can formulate my own conclusion from here. Our dear head of security has much to answer for. We need to go and confront Valancourt, now. I'm no longer willing to wait for the arc of justice to bend in my favor. Valancourt needs to die for what he's done. If I distract him, can I count on you to do the rest? The kind that buys you time to do what you need to. If we can find a way to isolate Valancourt from his forces, he will be much easier to deal with. He wouldn't dare. I've devoted more hours to studying rifts than almost anyone living. And since the Order abandoned us, the Protectorate does not have minds like mine to spare. Trust me, I know Valancourt. This will work. The dead do make poor chroniclers. Very well. Much as I would like to be present for the hoisting of Valancourt's petard, there's sense in what you say. Valancourt is unlikely to provide conversation before slipping you a bullet, so I recommend slipping him one first. Be ready to fight and give him no quarter. When it's done, return to me. Erstwhile, I will be doing my ample best not to chew through my nail beds. I heard fighting. Well, what happened? Did he beg forgiveness? Did he grovel? Thus always to traitors. Morale will certainly improve in the lab now, I should think, provided Valancourt's replacement is not also an absolute pilgarlic.
If Valancourt's replacement is anything other than routinely amiable, I shall return and bludgeon them within an inch of their life. Mark my words.
I had prepared this trauma kit, but obviously that turned out to be an unnecessary precaution. Please, take it with my gratitude. I'm not sure murdering the head of security at a highly valued research facility makes the argument you think it does, but noted. Have no fear. No evidence of our little collaboration will survive. I'll see to it.
Now that you have the rift modulator, any previously inaccessible rifts could be worth revisiting. Rifts may contain useful equipment and resources. However, due to the chaotic nature of reconstitution, some creative problem-solving may be required in reaching them.
in, I'll take care of him. Got a distraction for you. Come at me.
To battle!
Trigger finger's still tired.
Taking punitive action. I shall not stay your execution.
Let me know when you need a distraction. You lot couldn't hit the wrong side of a freighter. I'm the one you need to worry about.
As soon as my robustness is restored. Witness what befalls.
Take time, Commander. I'm at it.
Lethal measures at the ready. The target is much too far. I'm feeling a mite conductive at present. The sooner we finish this, the better.
but I'm not ready. Sorry, ain't ready yet. Ain't recharged. Trigger finger's still tired. Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. I'm the one you need to worry about. Hey, got a distraction for you.
By law, you've done it. I cannot lie. My math placed the odds of your survival at 0.00343%. But your reputation indicates that you reliably beat the odds. So why am I surprised? Unfortunately, I am limited in forms of compensation. However, I've refined the schematics so they may be constructed with your own rudimentary tools. I trust that you will find wonderful methods of deployment that will manipulate every equation to your favor.
Can't have our fearless leader firing on empty. Let's get the crap. I'll admit, always figured the console for a power snatcher, but I'd never put bits down on him betraying the Sovereign. They seem so tight-knit. Just think about all those posters of the pair of them that'll have to change now. A real crying shame. I'd say it's about as likely as a sprat learning the polka. The Sovereign's misfortune is our gain, as far as I'm concerned. The console might be projecting strength, but by my reckon, Protectorate's more unstable now than ever before. Sure, always happy to tool around for a bit. What did you have in mind?
Complicit!
Let me know what you need. The one you need to worry about. Over here! Three hole in the head!
progress yet? I can barely contain my excitement. Incredible! And to think I sent all those assistants to die for nothing. I should have just sent a heavily armed stranger first. Here's your reward. You've certainly earned it. Now, back to my lab. I'm going to get so many papers published. Every biological researcher will know my name. There's going to be statues of me.
Indulgence crabble cakes. Our fearless team of culinary commandos employ
dying at once!
When you have a moment, Commander, I'd like to talk. Commander, I've been thinking on the fact that so many of my slack-witted brethren believe it reasonable that I've been marked for death. So much so that I've missed the obvious. Our communication devices. There is someone who would have tried to contact me to warn me. Someone who wouldn't have been taken in by a faked kill order. Not from him. He was different from most of these slack-jawed sprat bastards. I knew him from before. Long before the Glorious Dawn. We had a secret code we used to hide things from our parents before... Well, never mind that. Anyway, if he used that code to embed a message to me within a Dawn missive, no one would have even known it was there. I should have been checking our comm devices, damn it. I know we have camps on Cloister and Praetor, but I'm not sure of the exact locations. I'd like to try to find one and clear it out so I can access one of our devices. Hopefully, it will bring me that much closer to whoever it is I need to kill to put an end to this nonsense.
My blood boils at the Consul's gall. Overtaking the Sovereign at this most vulnerable time for the Protectorate. He will pay 1,000 times for this treachery. Any fool enough to stand beside him will fall as well. Justice will spare none. None!
listening to this? Let me tell you stuff.
Ah, before I forget, here, this is for you. Thank you ever so much for freeing my father. He seems good, actually. No discernible lingering ill effects. Still, singing. But I'm so grateful to hear it.
My friend from Placid Waters. Appreciate you fetching the pitch ball Millie got me. And of course, the escort out of there. Though mostly, the pitch ball. Wonderful, wonderful. So good to see Millie again. Don't know how to do anything here, but I can sing to my heart's content. You heading out? Do take care. Again, much obliged.
Glad there are people out here like you. Gives hope. Both of us, well, we're forever in your debt.
So much to learn here, you know.
Blades, bludgeons, bombs. Mind telling me, browse all you like. Feel free. If it inflicts grievous bodily harm on other people...
get caught unawares. I feel I should tell me what you need. Candy. Protect your loved ones, protect yourself. Buy some new armor today.
Run along now. I've spent more than enough time entertaining wayward sprats.
My execs are working for your ex-subject. You gotta resolve this, like, yesterday.
Bad news. I decided it was better to join her too. I give her 70% of our kickbacks, but I'm making loads more than I was on my own. You should join us too.
I liked our rivalry because I knew I could beat you. This is sounding more and more like that.
Ship protection for sale. Don't want to come back to a hole in your fuselage, do ya?
Fine. Looks like a Dawn camp is up ahead. We should be able to find one of our devices there.
Going near. Sorry, get ready,
Let me take a stab at you. Step aside. Step aside. Wine.
You locked in with the wrong side of a freighter. I'm at it.
Weapon primed!
Both eyes open. Finally! Maybe now I can get to the truth of this kill order nonsense. I just need to check our comms device for a coded message from my old acquaintance, Severin. I knew it! He wants to help me find out who's behind this. I sent a reply telling him to meet me at a place that should be safe. It's on Cloister. I found what I was looking for. No need to continue messing with the Dawn's communication devices.
Tramicular, arriving.
Hey, mister, any bits to spare?
Any progress? Yeah, we want. Any progress? All right.
Tramicular, arriving any moment now.
Please
Approaching
remember,
station.
commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits.
Welcome back. We understand you've been a very busy little manty-wasp. Well, out with it.
Yes, time is bits. Tell us how it went.
A satisfactory effort, my ameliorator. I had hopes your talents would yield a result a mite more in our favor, but good work overall.
Well, I suppose I can't argue with the truth of that.
Anything else you'd like to report? Your performance at that facility went exceedingly well, all things considered, and it was an ideal first step in effecting my monopolistic mercantile methodology plan.
There you go again, pinning your career to that flim-flam mathematical malarkey. What do a bunch of eggheads know about marketing? Marketing isn't some rigmarole you can plug into a computronic doodad. It's instinct, intuition, know-how. It's a fucking art.
It is an intricately crafted, multi-phase marketing initiative that will introduce Auntie's Choice to the rest of the galaxy and establish the foothold of our pending monopoly. It requires a series of daring, almost impossibly savvy, perfectly timed, and flawlessly executed stratagems to create optimal market positioning.
Whole thing's a load of bunco. Calculatory claptrap from a bunch of over-educated know-nothings who are so smart they're stupid. Go ahead. Tell them who devised it.
With pleasure! The archive on Cloister analyzed millions of variables with bazillions of permutations to create an idealized path for total competitive domination.
Some oversized computronical doohickey, mapping out key corporate strategery, just all as you please, based on what? Bunch of numbers. We're Auntie's Choice. We know what motivates people better than they do. Real marketing is gut-driven. It's not something you think about, it's something you feel. That is, convince someone to feel.
Yes, suppose we should move on. Ursula, will you do the honors?
I'm the head of our proprietary insight acquisition division. Stealing our rivals' trade secrets? That's our bread and butter. We can sometimes lack a certain subtlety, though. The Protectorate have a process called mental refreshment. Some kind of mind manipulation business. There's a facility for it on Praetor. Auntie wants details on their methodology, pharmacology, and technology. This archive plan says it's important? Fine. Auntie and I agree it presents possibilities. Oh, do tell. I hope you gathered supplemental materials and recruited the scientist as well. Really? Thought you had more drive, but suppose that's fine.
I, for one, care little for the completion of stretch goals. You managed to avoid being mentally refreshed. That demonstrates considerable pluck and fortitude.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable? But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Oh, good to know, good to know. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete. Oh, finally, a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? It's true, the old corporations cared little for the individual, whereas I'd like to see each and every one of our employees rise from the refuse heap, like I did. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes? A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, my security team would never allow it, but a call like this over a secure line should be an acceptable alternative. Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful errands for the Order, you might earn a meeting with her to propose the same. Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to talk, and I'll set up a call on a secure line next door. Suited to the shifting needs of our After all,
Moment of your time, Commander. Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. I try not to think about regret or remorse. I shut down her work. I was wrong. Stating that out loud is the furthest extent of my self-castigation. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the order back on its intended path. Do appreciate it, Commander.
That's the central tower of the Archive. Too marvelous a piece of engineering to be in the hands of heretics, you ask me.
This graft ain't playing well with the cold. My whole damn arm's asleep.
I find your proposed time for leisure unaccountably so. But going any faster grossly increases the threat of collapse. Burying us beneath the snow benefits no one. So long as we are operating within the statistical parameters given to us. I see absolutely no reason to delay. Pick up the pace. Stop that scrounging around. Have you at least determined the cause of the avalanche?
What could possibly be keeping the repair personnel so long? Oh, greetings. By any chance, did you happen to encounter the repair personnel I dispatched to Resistor Bank 2789B12? Our new JTY-1030 resistor banks are built with enough durability to suffer through a tremendous amount of misuse. But the brutish handling by the Protectorate is too much for it. The misuse is causing moisture uptake, which causes the resistors to give off more heat. In the snow, that means more moisture, which means even more heat. I'm sure you can observe that the problem is cyclical in nature. I don't suppose you'd be willing to aid me in fixing this? It's down in the valley just southwest of the Archive. The heat has liquefied all the snow off the glass surface. It is an easy location to observe. Ursopods, Protectorate forces, rogue scrappers, blizzards, mantisaurs, maybe even Auntie's choice forces. Truly a smorgasbord of unfortunate options. In the short term, it's wreaking havoc with the weather and causing small, localized blizzards. Long term, the Archive would suffer irreparable damage to multiple systems. Undoubtedly, this would reduce its maximum operations per millisecond. Obviously, this is unacceptable. I loathe that, for now, our actions may aid the Protectorate. But we must protect the Archive. Oh, this is most appreciated. Unfortunately, the previous repair personnel took the only repair kit I had on hand. I'll mark the coordinates of the resistor bank on your map, but locating the repair personnel will be up to you. If you find him, you find the kit. I hope. Otherwise, the repair will be most difficult. I'll guide you.
temporary indignities of the body are nothing contrasted to the Order's future. Keep those eyes open, soldiers. Corneal frostbite be damned. Hold. We're presently observing a ceasefire with Auntie's choice, but its duration may be subject to sudden reversal. Would hate for you to get caught in any crossfire. Gathering data on the enemy's movements and behavior. Blizzards raise the degree of difficulty, but that's our problem, not yours. How comforting objective truth can be. Cloister has been a difficult front, and losing the Archive, first to the invaders and now to the Protectorate, has made it even more painful. Never mind the rifts. If you're looking for a way to help us out, I recommend heading to Laplace's garden. Follow this path and you can't miss it. Only the finest place on this ice ball. Words aren't sufficient to capture its many quality attributes. Best you observe it yourself. Avalanche collapsed part of the tunnel to the gardens, so the safest path is along the cliffside here. Mind your step.
Lovely day for differential geometry.
Tells me the Order won't be keen on letting an enemy soldier walk through their gates. Reckon I oughta step away?
Heard that rift near the... Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable... allies. Cultist. Agitators are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion will have to wait outside.
How'd you like to find your insides waiting outside?
I find that an improbable outcome were we to engage in violent conflict. Fine. The consequences be on your head if it proves otherwise. Head on in.
Impressed as I am that worked. I ain't sure about this. Being vastly outnumbered by the enemy ain't a corner I like to be backed into.
Agent, I have a message for you.
Oh, I was not expecting you to be in the company of a cultist.
A cultist and her extremely sharp knife. Shall I introduce you?
No, that won't be necessary. Where was I? Oh, yes, I remember now. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs. The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late, but I'm certain that's all part of the plan. The rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern. Nothing in the garden is. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? All conflict is transient in nature. To dwell on the negativity of a moment is to risk missing the opportunity of what comes next. Those in the garden have enough perspective to remain present and to focus on what matters: science and progress. And you for recognizing such quality of vision. But now, I fear I have kept you long past an ideal duration. May all your problems precede solutions.
This place smells like science. Or maybe that's math.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today. People will start to worry. Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested? Before I can administer your conviction, I need to ask you a question. In what area of your life do you feel you need the most improvement? Personal or professional? Expand on that for me. Oh, well, that's certainly specific. You will soon regain your professional momentum, augmented by your recent period of rest and reassessment. Good. Never forget that you are a valuable factor in the universal equation and necessary to advancing the plan. Now then, a brief conversation is customary following the initial service. I haven't seen you around before. New project appointment? Must be an adjustment, all things considered. Come now, don't tell me you haven't noticed our particular strain of hospitality here in the garden. I can only imagine how odd such an abundance of tranquility and friendliness must seem when contrasted with, well, anywhere else in Arcadia, especially in the middle of a war, and so near active fighting. Almost unfeasible, wouldn't you say? If you're as earnest and trustworthy as you let on, perhaps I can. Always nice to see a regular. Anyway, what can I do for you? I didn't hear a question. Everyone is simply contented by the good work they're doing to advance the plan. Everything in perfect exactitude, as Vicar Udicott might say. That said, if something more sinister was going on, would that concern you? Well, good thing nothing's amiss then. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way. You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further, shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. You might put down your proverbial hand once you hear the specifics. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. I'm limiting my water intake and using other pharmaceuticals to combat the effects. It's not a perfect system, but it works adequately enough. Moderate your volume, please! No one here is in any immediate peril. Probably. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? So you've heard of us. Good. That makes this easier. My primary task has been to watch the Order. But I'm confident my superiors would agree. Physical proof is of far greater value than mere rumor. All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it Perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in conference with the presiding bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? One more thing before you leave. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win.
What a lamentable state of affairs. I remember the days when Laplace's garden lived up to its estimable purpose. Now look at it. The fountain in disrepair, pedagogy in the park, even the lights above our heads have winked out like stars taken down from the sky. Nevertheless, one must persist. The plan is good. The shadow of ignorance cannot withstand its light. Oh, I couldn't say. This isn't my college, as it were. I'm a vicar. I tend to people's philosophical needs and leave the management of the garden to others. And purloin from you such a perfect opportunity to serve the plan? I wouldn't dare cogitate on it. Besides, I don't know the first thing about such repairs. Why, I'd be more apt to electrocute myself than anything else. Through the plan, yes. Yes, I dare say you're right. This must be the true intention behind our meeting. Stand back now and observe the proficiency of a true disciple of the plan.
You're back. Any luck with the sample?
A second makeup exam will not be offered, so I hope you studied this time, Briar. You may begin now.
Right. No pressure. Shh. If I'm caught talking during this makeup exam, oh, what does it matter? Can't mark the occipital from the parietal with these voided questions. And is there something wrong with the air recyclers? It's getting hard to breathe. mistaken. Panic isn't on the Garden's list of approved cognitive states. I knew I should have hydrated better this morning. Can't believe my future in the Order will be decided by an understanding of the vaporescent properties of trinitrotoluenes. I don't even like bitrotoluenes. My vision's gone a bit fuzzy, but the exam's right here on the monitor. Have a look. You asked! I'm already perspiring beyond acceptable odor levels. Thank you. I'm sure I'd recover my wits enough to tackle the rest of the test if you can just help me make sense of the first question. Just be discreet, won't you? My vision's gone a bit fuzzy, but the exam's right here on the monitor. Have a look. I'm sure I'd recover my wits enough to tackle the rest of the test if you can just help me.
Hello, layperson. Hello, layperson.
No, it's fine. I should probably start familiarizing myself with custodial routines. Janitorial sciences. Here I come.
Lecture will focus on the generation of prime numbers, techniques, and uses thereof. I know. Prime numbers. Why so simplistic? Well, consider this a basic refresher course in remedial linguistics for those new to the order. I will start by explaining what a prime number is, despite the fact you should have learned that definition decades ago, still in diapers. But no matter. I have been called many things, and repetitious is one of them. I have also been called redundant several times. Once I was called iterative, if you can believe that. So, prime numbers. What are they? The simplest definition is this. A set of natural numbers greater than 1. Let's call that set n2. Then a prime is any number in the set n2 that is not itself a product of two other numbers in the set n2. A simple definition. Elegant, uplifting, almost ascending, but not redundant.
Commander, don't tease me!
For pity's sake, isn't industrial science is mostly theory, they said. You won't have to put your knowledge into practice for years, they said. Now the fountain's broken and I can't. Useless. I'm useless. We had an avalanche recently, not far from the dome. One of these fountains stopped working around the same time. Stands to reason something must have been jostled loose. I recently placed into the industrial sciences, so I've been entrusted to fix the issue. But I've never had to put my knowledge into application before. It's not going well. I have. I organized all the tools I would need by size and use, and I've steadily monitored the situation for several hours. Maybe you're right. I could make a stronger attempt, but there's a high probability of irreparably damaging something. Then what'll I do? Skillful assessment. Just don't say that out loud around the laureates, huh? The garden is supposed to be perfect, not a stem or stamen out of place. Lack of perfection betrays carelessness, negligence, imprecision. It's basic causal inference. If I can't nip this issue in the proverbial bud, who knows what might happen as a result? No, of course. You must have business, and I ought to return to my efforts. Idle minds fail to endeavor, and all that.
Smart researchers patronize the scientician's surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices.
Your thorough appreciation of that song is considered a probable exquisite.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are in...
Welcome to the Scientician Surplus. I am the scientician in question. Any inquiries about the stock may be directed to me. Either you intend to buy or you intend to go without. It would be unethical for me to interfere with your decision-making process. It's there in the name. Surplus. Of course you would.
Every day treating. The operating theater is not conducting viewing dissections at this time. That is not an invitation to return to your study and perform exploratory surgery on yourself or a willing volunteer, just to be clear. There is curiosity, and there is recklessness. I've learned not to trust the younger, more inexperienced members of our order to know the difference. But I trust you are here for a reason other than to discuss scalpel-happy novices. Obviously. Do you think we drink unfiltered snow melt? I'm quite sure I have no knowledge of what you're talking about. I don't care. Is there anything else I can assist you with? That is best answered through observation. Here, have a look.
A lot of space for refugees here. Guess the Order is more concerned with the idea of helping people than actually doing anything about it.
What's your hypothesis about the flowers fair?
Exposing them to melodic sound waves on a consistent basis did affect improvements on their way from
If you need to discharge any sputum, I ask you kindly aim such accretions away from my general direction. Thank you. Oh, just passing time by calculating high probability diametrics within an error margin of 0.05. I'm waiting for the results of a rather exciting prediction, you see. Sometime last year, I predetermined an occasion of momentous import would happen today, right here, at these very coordinates. Indeed you are. All figures have value in the universal equation, although, upon immediate reflection, I don't think that's what you meant. Leslie Beckett, Oracle Laureate, Seer Supreme, leader of the Department of Predictive Analysis, and not terribly good at informal introductions, evidently. Forgive me if I don't shake hands. I prefer to keep my skin microbiome free of exogenetic cells. You understand? But now, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the agent we've been expecting. I knew loitering at this location would yield results. I, don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our excogitation chapels around Cloister by chance? Excogitation chapels are order residencies where one can meditate in solitude on specific theorems relating to the plan. They're scattered all around Cloister. Prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these unprecedented times, such logs could harbor hidden wisdom. However, with the war on, I've sadly been unable to get my hands on the last of these recordings. Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask you to endanger yourself by seeking out these logs. Cloister is rather treacherous, and some of the chapels are difficult to reach by design. However, if you happened upon these chapels and recovered these logs, I would most certainly be interested in their contents. By my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. You have that? 4. No more, no less. Each chapel should have at least one somewhere inside. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. How do you know about that? I mean, that is quite the allegation. I deny it effusively. Yes, actually. Now that you mention it, I would. As you have cleverly sussed out, Laplace's garden is the subject of an experiment into social conditioning, or curating, if you will, through the use of therapeutic pharmacology. We have been administering a pharmaceutical to the population of the garden via the water supply that aids in emotional regulation. We call it perspective. It's odorless, harmless. Well, apart from the withdrawal, but I can assure you we have our best minds working on that little issue. Minor complication at worst.
Let me get this straight. You're here experimenting on folk freely, all the while calling us at Auntie's Choice barbarians for doing the same damn thing?
I beg your pardon, young miss, but it's hardly the same. This study was completely voluntary. The participants all gave their consent.
Yeah, I bet they did. Did you withhold research funding unless they signed up? Or did you feed them a story, like their participation is critical to some new advancements?
This experiment has the potential to improve Arcadian society 100-fold. Imagine the benefits of a self-sustaining city where all are content and serving the plan.
That's all I'm saying. Don't cry foul when you've got your own schemes going on.
Then that is a failure on the part of yours and your colleagues' understanding. It's nothing to do with the Order, at any rate. I have no interest in debating the ethics of this experiment with a layperson. No offense. Don't we all? Nothing beyond what I already included in my 165-page summary of the incident. Why do you ask? His resignation has been duly received and accepted. Where he goes from here or what he does now is up to him. I expect we won't hear from him anytime soon. On a more positive note, the Department of Predictive Analysis's biennial summits will be far less contentious. Of course I do. That is precisely why my energy is better channeled toward the future, to ensure such tragic events never happen again. Landon Wiley was afflicted by that which strickens all scholars, the desire to effect change, to advance the plan at any cost. Were his methods wrong? Unequivocally. Should he have come to me with his concerns? Undeniably. But was his conclusion categorically sound? That remains debatable. By the architect, no. The Order needs less change, not more. I agree we need to return to our fundamentals, but I'm quite sure my definition of that differs from Wiley's and his cohorts. But let's move on to other topics, please. All this fractious talk is giving me a stomachache and... oh, I just got rid of the last one. Oh, the garden is a marvel, isn't it? A prime example of how this colony could function if led by science and rationality instead of fear and oppression. Everything within the garden was meticulously selected by a committee of the Order's best archivists to provide for mental clarity and focus. My word, you should have seen the debates over the shrubbery. I've never witnessed such passionate discourse over foliage of all things. And what a history it is. The Order of the Ascendant, along with the Archive, has been headquartered on this moon since the founding of the colony. It was given to us by the matriarch herself. She understood how vital our contributions would be to Arcadian society, which some have forgotten. It is why we're here, in fact. Cloister has two things in abundance: ice and geothermal power. Both made it the ideal location for the archive, and we've utilized its vast computational power ever since. Who's to say it didn't? Do you think it mere coincidence the Order was ready to quit the Protectorate en masse the moment the invaders arrived? Seems statistically improbable. That's all I'll say. What other stray inquiries occupy your mind? Impossible, I'm afraid. The Protectorate is rather well entrenched at present, and nothing short of an all-out siege is likely to dislodge them. If you're determined, I recommend consulting with the presiding bishop on the matter. She can tell you more. Welcome back, Agent. In what manner can I assist you?
Lift access is currently restricted. Keep moving.
Hey! Only security personnel are permitted in this booth. Leave. Please. At this time, residents of Laplace's garden are not permitted beyond this point.
relic sort. Mind yourself around any electrical panels. I heard Vicar Udicott got quite the shock over in the plaza. If she lives, I imagine we'll be in for quite the sermon. In what manner can I assist you? Oh yes, I'm aware. Better to know the spy in our midst than receive a replacement more capable of evading notice. Besides, Miss Doyle's harmless, and she serves the best convictions at the parlor, bar none. Has she now? A little ahead of schedule. No matter.
You should do as she asks. Get her that sample.
This is an unparalleled opportunity to see the shape of Sub Rosa's web. We only need plant the right fly. After collecting the sample, mix it with this liquid tracer. It'll make the drug functionally inert and allow us to track it wherever it shows up next. Not as such. Not at the moment. However, let me put it this way. Any potential for interference above null is worth keeping an eye on. I did not become the Oracle Laureate by getting caught with my pencil down. Here, take this key. It will grant you access to water reconditioning, which you can find on the eastern side of the garden. You will also need this passcode for the terminal inside.
Your admittance to the Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning may come at a later date, as determined by the Office of the Oracle.
Hope you have good news for me. You remind me of my predecessor. Greedy as an equation is long. If only she'd had the wisdom to match. But, very well. Can't say you haven't earned it. I knew I had the right person for the job. You've saved me quite the headache. Aw, wondering if you'll ever see me again? Precious. I'll remain in the garden a little while longer, but it would be best if we limited contact with one another. No offense. But who knows? The plan mystifies even the greatest minds. Perhaps our paths will intersect again someday.
Agent, over here. Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's Choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our two sides reject fractiousness and combine our efforts. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with. Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy in the universe.
You. I don't know who you are. But if you thought it wise to bring a cultist into the heart of Order territory, you are deeply foolish. I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence, be assured, it will be returned exponentially. This differing perspective is explicitly violent and completely wrong-headed, especially in regard to the rifts. There is a cultist-centric issue the Order needs resolved. I suspect you are capable of doing such. If you are not, I cannot trust you, and certainly cannot allow you to see Ruth.
If these cultists are suffering the same affliction of being traitorous curs as the others seem to be, then I look forward to killing them.
My task is this. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there.
As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines. I always find I work best when undistracted. Now, how might we be of use to one another? I scarcely take time to engage in idle conversation, but perhaps this will be illuminating in some fashion. Who told you about that? Were there an experiment being conducted here involving any kind of medicament? Confirming its existence would compromise it. The theoretical existence or non-existence of Order experiments are strictly within the Order's purview. It doesn't concern you. It's not nefarious. It's a waste of time. But fine, you've made your point. We are standing in the experiment. Laplace's garden was built as a scholar's utopia, with this drug Perspective as its regulating reagent. This was supposedly to aid us in deciphering the equation. One would think that an organization at active war would have more pressing responsibilities than a scholar's paradise. But surely, I'm only a pessimist. Specifically, a phlogistonated firearm, capable of tunneling through reinforced armor. Broadly, weaponry, research, anything capable of giving our exemplars an edge. Are you deriding me, or do you honestly believe that? So many exemplars have died since this war began. So many under my leadership. But that's not your point, I understand. I wish I had more time to devote to my tinkering, but the war takes precedence. I have nothing but respect for Ruth. Without her guidance, the Order may never have found the strength to dissolve its protectorate bonds. If I had to dig for the smallest critique, I'd note that she shoulders too much. If she collapses beneath the strain, the Order will be rudderless. This we cannot afford. I generally prefer to keep discussions relevant.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission.
Personalized order prediction yet. I'll admit to a bit of trepidation in regards to opening mine. This is the first one I've received since deployment.
Honestly, the ones you get
Use
in the
caution
field
as
are
you
like-
progress. There's been reports of personalized in the area.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. 1 being entirely pain-free, and 100 being the worst pain you can imagine.
There is far too much variability in that scale.
Hello, layperson. Hello, layperson.
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
Hello, layperson.
Do you see these magnificent weapons? They have the greatest destructive potential the Protectorate can bring to bear. Tell me
Another, excuse me, I don't think you have the authorization. It's fine, but don't get too close. You won't survive direct contact with the rift. Salutations. We've been doing our utmost to find ways to manipulate this rift or extract data from it. Unfortunately, our efforts have been ineffective thus far. I suppose it's too much to hope for, but would you, perchance, happen to have any practical experience with or mathematical understanding of the rift phenomena? Hmm? Wait. Actually, this isn't some jest. You'll have to forgive me for not taking your assertion at face value. Perhaps a demonstration. For science, of course. All the items we put into the rift, they've been reconstituted.
But in a state far different from their original configuration. Fascinating. Architect above. That was incredible. That small, portable device changed the state of the rift anomaly in an instant. From observing how the device operates and how the rift reacted to it, it seems to be using some kind of energy burst generated by a magnetic field to re-deregulate the structure of the field around the rift. Truly an astounding piece of technology. Would you consider allowing me the opportunity to open the casing and examine the inner workings? No, forget I asked. What a preposterous question. Thank you for the demonstration. It was most enlightening. You have given my team and I a good deal to think about, and to try and fit into our current theoretical framework. It seems rifts do not fit cleanly into our current understanding of the universal equation. Oh, damn it. Reverted to its previous state. Is it a failing of the device, or an inevitable effect of the passage of time? Perhaps the architect has imposed certain limits on the rifts. I'm not sure how you got that, but treat it with respect. We must now endeavor to construct our own. Observe. On rare occasion, the plan provides two unknown variables simultaneously. Years of practical data gathering have taught me to simply stand aside and observe quietly.
That second unknown variable was heavily armed.
Very observant, Assistant Ogburn.
Captain. I fear I have a confession to make. I have found being present on Cloister underwhelming. Really, what part about the situation is underwhelming? The corporate invaders killing our scientists en masse, the protectorate subjects raising our research.
Over here!
You. I don't know you. But you, I do. It's good to see you, Asa. It's me, Severin. You know, I've never been to Cloister before. It's cold.
What is wrong with you? Boy, damn it! Did they mentally refresh you?
No, let's just say I'm well lubricated. You tried the new Prestige gin? It helps when you have to do something you really don't want to do. Yes, there are a bunch of sentinels in hiding. When I give the word, they're to execute both of you.
Not before I mentally refresh your brain pan with my knife.
I didn't want to do this. I guess I shouldn't have questioned the kill order so loudly. It was real. It came from the exalted leader herself. She summoned me, knew of the message I'd sent, said I'd ruined everything. To save myself, save the Dawn, I had to do this. I'm a coward. I didn't want to die. I'm sorry, Asa.
Absolutely not. We don't need his help. We should just kill him and get on with the Sentinel killing. If we die, at least I'll be taking a great many of them with us. You make a compelling argument. No need to waste our time killing yet more faceless cogs in the Protectorate machine. As fun as that may be.
But you're basically just asking me whether I'd like to be killed by you or the Sentinels. Because when they figure it out, they'll execute me. That gin must have muddled my gray matter more than I thought. I'd have sworn there was no way out of this, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And thank you, Asa. I thought I was dead.
What an idiot. I can't believe I thought of him as a friend. I can't believe she betrayed us. And the whole of the Dawn to save her own life. What a coward. The unspeakable things I will do when I find her. Well, once I find her. The Exalted... No, I won't refer to her as such any longer. Dagmar continually moved around for safety. She always initiated contact with me. We do know that she was in league with the Sentinels, though. There's nothing of it but to get ourselves inside their headquarters on Praetor. We'll track her by accessing their comm system. We don't need to worry about their systems. My parents were vigilant. I stole their access codes when I was younger, but never had the nerve or call to use them. Once we do, they'll become unusable, as they'll set off all sorts of alarms. Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel, with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity.
I reckon that ship's already sailed off into another fucking dimension.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal. One which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
I suppose congratulations are in order for having dispatched so many Sentinels. Can't rightly say I'm surprised, what with your knack for wanton violence. But still, impressive. And let's not forget that I was the one who gave Azahelia Leidinger a purpose and fulfillment. Look at how much fun you've had.
Oh, she's dead already. But I might make it quick if you have a good explanation for your betrayal.
Let's not be hasty. I mean, can it even be a betrayal if it was always lies? But I must say, when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest, I knew you were the perfect candidate.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me.
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak. I see that Aza isn't the only willfully ignorant person here. Society needs to be controlled for the greater good, by any means necessary. Or would you prefer a more corporate way of life?
Anyone with a lick of sense would prefer our way. The only folk who jump at the chance to shackle others are the ones who are free from that same control. Ain't that right?
Dagmar, all this can't be right. How can you spout such lies? Our cause is righteous. It has to be.
As much as I'd prefer to not anger you, I must say your willful ignorance is still a thing to behold. You are always so willing to accept even the most specious of arguments. I can only hope your luck has run its course, and the remaining Sentinels are able to put you down. Your death would put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively. What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response. I know of no other way to act.
Imbeciles! How did you let Aza get this far? Stop her! She means to assassinate me!
Form up! They're closing in!
let herself be cornered. She's sure to have an escape route. We should find it.
Ah! You're still alive! Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. What? Why? Fine. But you are only prolonging the inevitable.
I must say, I am in favor of prolonging the inevitable myself. What I did for the greater good, to save the colony, all at the Consul's behest. It was my duty as a loyal subject to the true Protectorate. What other reason need there be? And Azza, she was an obvious choice. So lost, so dead inside, so in need of guidance. But then, she went berserk. I never imagined how she'd take to the killing and mayhem. You brought me great praise from the Consul. Until you started asking questions and killing the wrong people. The Consul feared that the Sovereign wasn't up to the task he inherited. He actually believed the subjects no longer needed such a firm guiding hand. So the Consul set to creating a challenge for the Sovereign to rise to make manifest the hidden dangers he refused to see. It began with labeling political subversives members of a fictitious cult. When that didn't work, the Consul enlisted me to make the glorious dawn a reality.
Enough of this blathering on! It's well past time for Dagmar and her life to part ways. Feel free to think on that while I start in on her dissection.
That's still recharging!
A lot.
She's dead. As am I. She should have suffered more for what she did. You know, for a moment there, I was questioning everything, but it quickly became obvious she was just lying to save herself. You're so naive. But don't feel bad. It took me until now to see through her subterfuge. No. The Glorious Dawn was always true. She was just using it for her own debased ends. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future. You're absolutely right. They turned on me once, they could do it again. And it will be easier to pick them off if I disband the Dawn. I can send out a general message to all the cells from here. I'll say our communications have been compromised or some such. That the Exalted Leader is dead and that they need to separate and protect themselves. That should work, though I suspect a fair amount will simply just jump into the closest rift. I'm sure there will be some that ignore the message completely, though. Enough to keep my knife skills up, at least. It's done. Let's leave this place. It sickens me. It's strange how I ended up here. With the cult nothing but an empty, discarded idea. If I hadn't started traveling with you, I may have spent my days hunting down the members I thought traitors and never realized it was Dagmar until too late. You may not have noticed, but I have a tendency to be a little impulsive. Reckless, even. Not too reckless to heed your counsel, at least when it comes to the remnants of the Dawn. What do you need, Commander?
Such as?
the Protectorate has been gaining ground since winning control of the Archive. UNEAC has likely been sorting out their logistic problems.
This seems rather extreme. Are you sure you can't simply unbolt it?
Do I hear hammering from the other stations?
Don't question glass product can be manipulated.
You there. If you happen to be headed into Protectorate territory, can you keep your lamps open for my scouts? You there. If you happen to be headed into Protectorate territory, can you keep your lamps open for my scouts? That squad should have reported back hours ago.
Just stay focused. Keep your head down. Breathe. Recite pi to 1,000 digits to calm down.
Ratcheting up my aggression. Standing by to stupefy.
Back in business.
I'm fat and scared. Investigating hostile intentions.
Recharging as fast as I can, Commander!
Mitigating the threat. Purification in progress.
Casualties are afoot. Target analyzed. Adversary vulnerability.
You can't fight contentment.
Fortificator at ready status. This thing's got a mean strength. That bone's always crabby.
Shifting to a less expensive.
It looks to be all clear. Please release us. They always come from that big building across the street before they open the gate. They must leave a key in there. It's clear. Go, go, go! You're doing the architect's Your work. Actions are in accordance with the plan.
Mobilizing. Check your...
Not quite charged yet.
limits. Unwelcome guests will be ushered from existence promptly and without further ado.